Before I get going, I see a lot of this recession talk in the news, and I just wanted to give you a quick message. A big part of my life was difficult, was tough. I wasn't successful. I couldn't get any wins. And I don't know where you're at, but I want you to know this. You are unique. You are special. You have what it takes. Whether it's making millions of dollars or being an incredible human being, you have what it takes. Whether it's getting that job or striking out on that new career and being an entrepreneur, having your own business, you have what it takes. Don't listen to the outside world. Don't listen to what the news is telling you. Don't listen to what maybe your negative friends are telling you or your parents. Like, question everything. And one little tip I want to give you before I get rolling with this video is the negative statements we hear or we say to ourselves, we turn them into positive questions. So for example, many years when I was broke, when I was sleeping in the backseat of my truck when I didn't have anything, instead of accepting, you're broke, Tyson, you're never going to make it, I would ask myself, Tyson, how can I get rich? How can I make the money? How can I make it? How can I be successful? So I very simply just turn a negative statement and turn it into a positive question. And that's the backbone of my total existence. So I just wanted to tell you that you're special. You have what it takes. So without further ado, let's get into the video. If you don't know me, my name's Tyson Durfee. I've been a professional rodeo athlete for over 20 years. I have multiple successful 7-figure businesses. And what I'm most proud of is I have an amazing family. And the purpose of this video is to give you some tactical advice on how you can create wealth. And not just for yourself, but so that you can leave it behind your kids and your kids' kids and your kids' kids. And it starts with the correct habits. You see, wealth doesn't just create itself. There's no way humanly possible that you can take zero and multiply it into tens of millions of dollars. And so how do we do it? If you don't come from a lot of money, you start pretty small, right? You start with maybe $10, $20, $30. You save until you have a substantial amount of money that you can invest, that you can do something with. And that's the topic of today's video. If you want to be successful and you want to teach your kids to be successful and make money and go out and not only live on the money that you created, but leave extra behind, or donate to your charities, or do these things that you're super passionate about. It starts with mastering the art of saving. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Tyson, it's easy for you. You've got it all. You have the house, you got the businesses, you got all this stuff. Well, trust me, there was a point in my life where I had absolutely nothing, and absolutely had less than nothing because I had credit cards and I maxed those out too. And I found myself at a point trying to chase my dream as a rodeo athlete while sleeping in the backseat of my truck. So what I'm about to tell you does work. So many years ago, I started becoming somewhat well-known in the rodeo business, and I was winning a little bit. I'd won a national championship in Canada, and I had a little bit more money flowing in than I was actually used to. But every single week, I was still broke. I would win $5,000 or $10,000, and the next week I'd be broke again. And I just noticed this cycle happening over and over and over again, and I freaking hated it. It drove me crazy. I felt like I was a hamster on a wheel. I felt like I was in the rat race. Maybe you feel the same way. You make $5,000 a month or $3,000 a month, and it's never enough, and you can never get out of the rat race, and it feels terrible. And so one day I decided, why is it that I always feel like I'm on this wheel? I'm just treading water. It's just terrible. And so I would tell myself, hey, it's okay. Next week, we're going to do this thing, or we're going to win this rodeo, or we're going to get this money. And next week, it's going to work out. And I kept telling myself, next week. And finally, next week never came. And what really needed to happen for me was I had to get a grip on my finances. And at this point in my life, I had made a massive mistake that a lot of people do. It's like I'm always chasing the next deal, the next rental property, the next investment, the next stock. I was always one of those guys who wanted to just chase the next deal. And I absolutely was not comfortable with just having money in my checking account. I listen to guys tell me that, cash is trash and you should never have cash because it's depreciating. So anytime I had an extra 5 or 10 grand, I would just spend it. And on a side note, never do that. You should always have an emergency fund set aside that you can live on for at least 3 to 6 months. And if you don't have that in place, do not invest. Do not do anything else. Don't go to Starbucks anymore. Just get that emergency fund set aside so they have a little bit of cushion. And for a lot of people, that's what they need. They need a little bit of breathing room. Myself, a lot of time in my life, I needed that breathing room. How about you? Does it feel good not having any money or stressing out? No, it feels terrible. So get that emergency fund set aside. So I was on the wheel. I was always chasing the next deal. It was terrible, but I did one thing that many men do. I met my wife. And when I met my wife, I was like, this lady, she gave me goosebumps. She is gonna be like, oh, it's incredible. She is awesome. I want her to be with me forever. But you see, I found out that women want one thing. Yeah, and it's not your handsome good looks. It's not how tough you are, how far you can throw a football, or how big your truck is, or any of that stuff that we think it is. Women want one thing, and that one thing, my friends, is security. They want to know that you're man enough to not just take care of them, but protect them, and man enough to provide for your family, to provide for the future that you want. And see, I was in a point where I was always posturing, and posturing led me to not having very much money. It led me to, back in those days, spending too much money on alcohol, spending too much money on things that really don't even matter. And when I met my wife, I got laser focused. I met her, and then I met her family, and they're very hardworking people. And I was hardworking too, but I wasn't diligent like they were. See, I watched them manage their money. I watched them how to work hard over year after year after year after year and live on less than what they made. So there was always an excess amount of money. And for me, that's exactly what I needed. I've always been good at watching people and seeing the things that they do to become successful. And this is a little pro tip for you. Just watch people. If you want to be successful, if you want to learn how to save, you want to learn how to make money, you want to become a winner, just watch what the winners do and break down everything that they do and then do it yourself. If you do that consistently over a large period of time, you're going to become successful too. You're going to become a winner as well. So I did that with my wife. I did that with her family. I watched what they did. I watched how frugal they were. I watched them say no to things that they didn't need. Instead of going to the steakhouse and ordering the filet mignon, well, get the sirloin. It's half as much, and you still get the same amount of protein. And so I began to get comfortable having money. And I did this little exercise. Every month, I would save 10% of everything that I made. And in the beginning, it seemed like there's no way that I can do this. 10%, that's a lot. I'm barely breaking even. There's no way I can do it. But what happened was living on 90% and saving the 10%, it allowed me to just cut out some of the fat. I mean, I think we've all got some fat in our life. Yeah, not just the belly, not just the midsection. I'm talking about the 5 Starbucks a day. I'm talking about going and getting that pack of cigarettes or that can of Copenhagen or drinking 17 soda pops a day or the candy bars or whatever it is. We all have it. It just allowed me to cut out some of that fat. And so that's what I did. I really watched what I spent. I saved my money and I got comfortable having money. See, I had this thermometer. I had this thermometer in my life that if I had $30,000, I would have everything that I ever needed. And I just adjusted the thermometer. I said, I got 30. Well, let's get comfortable with 50. Okay, let's make more than we spend. Let's watch what we're spending. Let's master the art of saving money, because trust me, we're going into a recession and you need to listen up. We all need to master the art of saving. And so that's what I did. Over time, the money began to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And it's really the foundation of what I have now. My businesses, my home, my family. It's not that I'm bragging, because I just do these videos to tell you that, if I did it, you can do it. I'm just a country boy from the Midwest who came from nothing. I have a little bit now, and I want to share the knowledge to get it done. So pro tip, always ask yourself, do I really need this or do I want this? Am I buying this thing to temporarily make me feel good, or am I buying this thing out of necessity to grow my business, to help my family, or to give me a need that I actually have to have? If the answer is no, then don't buy it. Don't get it. Go get something else that's actually going to add money to your bottom line. And for the love of God, if you're a young individual, stop posturing. You don't need the bigger truck. You don't need the boat. You don't need the bigger mud tires. You literally just need to save and focus on how to grow your wealth. And here's a massive bonus. If you want to become incredibly wealthy, if you want to leave an impact, number one, you got to start with mastering the art of saving. But number two, saving is not good enough. You also have to learn how to invest. And then the last thing, you have to grow your knowledge base so that you can make more money. If you're an individual that works on a fixed income, that's totally cool. But how about a side hustle doing something else that makes just as much money as your main hustle? And then when your side hustle begins to double what you're earning for your regular job, then all you got to do is say, hey, I'm going to swap this baby out. I'm going to go full time at this thing. And that's what I did. For myself, shoeing horses originally was my main way to earn income. I would go shoe some horses, make some money, and then I would practice my side hustle, which was roping. And then after a while, roping began to pay more than horseshoeing. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to continue roping. I'm going to stop horseshoeing. And then roping became my main hustle. Well, while I was roping, then I built with my wife, Shay Michelle Buckles. And then pretty soon, that got way bigger than roping. And then I kept roping and was doing the buckles. And then we're like, hey, we love kids. We love baby products. So then we're like, hey, let's start Shay Baby. Now that the roping's on par, the buckle business is on par, let's start Shay Baby. And boom, Shay Baby, after a 4 or 5 year period, starts to blow up. And at this point, I don't even have to rope anymore. I don't have to be an athlete anymore. And that's the rat race I wanted to be out. Because as an athlete, you're always chasing the next win. You're always chasing the next paycheck. It's just like working probably where you're working, earning a modest salary, and that only covers your expenses. So number one, we got to learn how to save. Number two, don't chase white rabbits and invest in every little thing that comes your way. Number three, grow your knowledge base, learn new skills. That way you can start your side hustle, and then pretty soon your side hustle will overpass your main job, and you can go get financial freedom through that business. You see, very few people get rich working for somebody else. And if you're one of those people that love your job and you love what you do, that's awesome. Stay hooked, because if you love it, you should never stop it. I don't care if you're making 10 grand a year, 20 grand a year, 50 grand a year. As long as you love what you do and you're earning good money, enough to support the lifestyle that you want, then continue doing it. But for me, I'm never happy just doing like one thing. I'm ADD, I'm dyslexic, I have a ton of energy, I go hard as a mofo all the time. So for me, I'm excited and happy when I'm doing a lot of things. But the main purpose is you must believe in yourself. Get comfortable with the cash that you have in your pocket. Learn how to invest. Start small, then grow. Same way with your side hustle, same way with your business. Start small, then grow. Trust me, you have what it takes. You don't have to be intelligent or brilliant or have a 4-year education. Don't even get me started on college. Anybody can be successful. You freaking deserve it. Now go out and chase your passion. Do me a favor, if you like this video, please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. And if you don't mind, leave a comment. I read every single comments below. I can't wait to communicate with you. We'll see you soon. Take care. Adios.